Nu har vi sista föreläsningen i den här salen för dagen. Och det är Kyle Lacy som kommer att prata. Vi ska snart byta till engelska. So, Kyle is a senior manager of content marketing and research for ExactTarget, and he will be speaking to us about the importance of email in a cross-channel world. First, just a few points of information. Kyle will speak for 20 minutes, then there's a 5-minute Q&A. So if you have any questions, we'll take those then. And then there's the coffee break. So if there's anything you'd like to ask, we'll try to give you the time to do that. And if you want to change tracks, there's also time to do that afterwards. All right?
Good.
You feel ready?
How's everybody doing? Who speaks English in here? Okay, so I'm going to stick with just English, if you guys are okay with that. So we all good with that? All right, great. I'm actually going to use a Apple mouse to get through these slides, so hopefully, actually I'm not, because this doesn't work. Never mind. So I'm just going to stand here, which is going to be ridiculous because I can move a little bit too much. So the importance of email, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction of the company as well as myself, but I need you to write this link down. So this link is going to take you to this presentation on SlideShare, so you can download it. A lot of the data that we're doing today, that we're going to talk about today, is way too much for 20 minutes. So if you go download this presentation, it has more data having to do with Twitter followers, Facebook, as well as email. I work for a company called ExactTarget. We send email, mobile, and social messaging for a lot of brands in the United States, as well as 9 different countries. We started our office here. Is Teresa in here? Probably a couple months ago, right? In October, way more than a couple months ago. So ExactTarget, we send about 11 billion messages per month, 250 mobile clients, 200 enterprise clients, and 900 million impressions per year, 1 million automated campaigns per month. And we do this for clients, and my job at ExactTarget is research. So I'm a senior manager of content marketing research, and we do baseline consumer reports. So the report and the data that you're going to see today spans over 6 years of us tracking how consumers interact with each other and how they interact with brands via mobile, via social, via email, okay? And this is also 72 slides in 20 minutes. Are we ready? Okay, so that's why I have you download this presentation, because we're going to bust through this and be really excited about it. But the majority of this data is coming from this report. This is our 2013 Global Executive Summary that comes out in the next few months. It will be available on exacttarget.com/SFF, but it focuses on Brazil, France, Germany, the UK, and Australia. Hopefully we will have a report for Sweden by the end of this year in terms of how people use different technologies and how they use email. So based off of this data, we really have 5 trends that we believe are changing digital marketing in general. And email, of course, is at the center point of this. And the first trend is the undead. America, for some reason, has this thing with zombies. And I don't know if, do you guys like zombies at all here? You do zombies? Great, perfect. So the undead is not necessarily zombies. It's basically what we read about on a daily basis from a lot of pundits in general, right? The idea that certain channels are dead or certain things are dead, right? So I'm going to give you some examples of these. Why email no longer rules. Is email dead? Haven't you heard email is dead, according to Facebook COO? Mark Zuckerberg says that email's end is nigh, LOL. Facebook is dead for Gen Y. What's next? Twitter is dead. Long live Twitter. Blogging is dead. Why stupid people shouldn't blog. Marketing is dead. The web is dead. The CMO is dead. Death of advertising and death of big data, which is the most recent death or dying post that I've found. And the whole concept of this is that we read this all the time and we said, you know what? I don't necessarily believe what they're saying, right? I don't necessarily believe that that's actually how consumers are pulling in data. So we wanted to go back and track change of preferences in terms of permission-based promotions. So we asked consumers, how do you prefer to get marketing messaging? Via what channels? Email in 2008 was 72% of consumers preferred marketing messaging via email. 77% in 2012. Text messaging went from 1% to 5%. Social networks was 0% in 2008, which is not surprising to anybody. And they went to 6%. And what we found was that consumers actually prefer email from a marketing aspect, right? Whether it is a coupon, whether it's a newsletter, people prefer email. Now, that doesn't mean that we go spend a ton of money on email. It means that we're looking at what we call a customer lifecycle engagement, all those stupid terms that a bunch of corporate people use. But this is what we're looking at: awareness, evaluation, purchase, usage, repurchase, and advocacy. And every point along this customer's lifecycle with a brand is touch points. I don't care if it's an employee in a store. I don't care if it's an email that was delivered. I don't care if it was a mobile device or an app or a push notification or text message. We as technologists and marketers, because I believe that everybody's going to be in the form of technology, right? Because whether you can track data and mathematically track data or not is going to be something that's a huge advantage to you as a marketer. This is where we need to be going in order to take technology to deliver a single idea to a consumer via whatever channel they use. Does that make sense? So through this life cycle, we want to say, all right, for every single person that is interacting with me, can I get a life cycle for each individual and deliver communication to them the way they prefer, not the way that my board of directors prefers, not the way that my boss prefers, and not the way that I prefer, right? Because I use data, I use technology different than you do, right? We all do. I might download a mobile coupon, you might delete the mobile coupon. Does that make sense? So when we're looking at this, the first trend is the idea that it doesn't matter what anybody says. I can give you stats for days. Everybody has stats, right? But they speak to a mass instead of the individual within your database. No matter what CRM you're using, no matter what technology you're using, we need to get to the point of looking at this, right? So the second phase is digital audiences, and I think that we have seen digital audiences rise with mobility, which is the third trend, mobile, as well as social, right? So we went and asked in different countries, an email subscriber is, I have signed up for one email from a brand. So I'm subscribed to email from one brand. A Facebook fan is, I have liked a Facebook brand page, and a Twitter follower is, I have followed a brand on Twitter. And as you can tell from these consumers, 93%, 91%, 96%, 90%, 94%, email seems to be the one choice that people make. Now, whether or not Gary in your database is going to sign up for email, or he's going to buy something on Facebook, or he's going to sign up for email via Facebook, is up for us to decide and us to track that data. So out of those email audiences, we wanted to ask, what was your motivation to subscribe? So in Germany, it was to receive discounts and money off promotions, to receive free stuff or giveaways, to keep up to date with the company's products, to receive advance notice of new products and receive free stuff. France was to receive discounts, we see a trend here, to receive free stuff, to keep up to date with the company's products, services, or offerings. I shop with this company to buy this brand on a regular basis. So that, advocacy portion of that's great. UK was to receive discounts and money off promotions, to receive free stuff. I shop with this company and to keep up to date with the company's products. So mostly it was to receive free stuff, to get discounts, and to be informed. Now you can take that as any way you want in terms of what to be informed actually means. It could be that I want a newsletter from you, but it could also be I want to be informed when your next discount is available, right? So we want to keep that in mind when we're building out strategy. Facebook was a little different, but not much. France was, number one was to receive discounts and money off promotions, to keep up to date with the company's products, to receive free stuff. I shop with this company on a regular basis. Germany, to keep up to date with the company's products or services, to receive discounts, to receive advance notice of new products, and to receive free stuff. UK was to receive discounts and money off promotions, to receive free stuff, to receive advance notice, and to keep up to date with the company's products, and it's the same thing. Now the problem is that we can't track Facebook as well as we can email, right? So when we're building out Facebook strategy, in our opinion, you need to be able to get somebody involved in an email strategy from your Facebook page. Get them to sign up, and I'm going to give an example of this at the end that's going to walk through a complete life cycle. Because if somebody's involved on email and mobile, or email and Facebook, or email and Twitter, they are highly more likely to buy from you. If somebody's a Twitter follower of a brand, they're 50% more likely to buy from that brand. Now, whether or not they see any of their tweets, I have no idea. But that's what as a consumer is saying to us. So what are the reasons people unlike brands on Facebook? Because remember, a consumer's ability to like something is what? They can move their finger, right? Is that fair? Does that show any brand affinity whatsoever? Not really, right? What were the reasons? Number one was the company posted too frequently. My wall was becoming too crowded with marketing posts. The content became repetitive or boring over time. And I only liked the company to take advantage of a one-time offer. So the bottom one is definitely drive them through email, re-engage them through email if they only wanted to take advantage of a one-time offer. But the top three have to do with one word, and that's content. And I don't care what tool you use. I don't care how good your data is. If you have terrible content, the tool's not going to work. So while we have all the technology available to us, I don't know if that's the biggest issue. It's providing content that interacts with the consumer and gets them to buy into the idea, because ultimately your audience, through social, through mobile, through email, are your assets to your brand. Do we send the same piece of content to 1 million different people? Sometimes. Why? That's not responsible marketing. And we're not using data to inform. Because now the person can go, and these audience who are assets have the ability to move mobile, right? And who has a smartphone in here? Who has a clam phone? You know what a clam phone is? You ever heard of a clam phone? You know, the one that you can only make calls on? Nobody has a clam phone? Usually somebody has a clam phone. That's great. You guys are ahead of the game. 85% of the globe has a mobile phone. There's going to be 9.1 billion mobile connections by 2015. And this is not changing, right? It's going to go up. It's not going to go down. As technology gets cheaper, what's going to happen? More people are going to be using devices that can throw data back and forth, right? And mobile is more than SMS and text messaging. When you have an email that's designed for mobile, and I click on, it's a beautiful email. Oh my gosh, I can read it on my mobile phone. I don't have to swipe my fingers to read it. And I click on the link of that email to buy $1,000 worth of your product, and your landing page is not mobile enabled. What happens? I leave, right? Because you did not cater to me all the way through the life cycle. Does that make sense? So we talk about mobile being the coolest thing ever, and we're downloading apps and blah, 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 blah. And we don't have our website mobile enabled. There's a 300% increase in mobile open rates via emails from October 2010 to October 2012. We estimate, based off of our database, that 5 out of 10 emails are being opened via a mobile device. That's huge, right? Whether that's an iPad, whether it's a phone, it doesn't matter. So global email open rates are crazy as well. Yeah, as you can see, US, mobile actually surpassed webmail and desktop, thanks to return path for this data, by the way. Germany, 61%, Spain, 45%, France, 41%. Mobile still slowly, in terms of Europe, still growing a little bit. Canada's 37%, Brazil's 14%. But this is trending up, it's not trending down, right? And what we're seeing is that mobile open rates are trending up, and we're actually seeing conversion rates kind of going down because they're not designing past the email. They're only designing the email to be responsive. And if you're not designing email to be responsive for a mobile device or your website, then you are way behind in the beginning. And that's probably the most important thing we can do. We could get 1 million fans on Facebook, but if a mobile device user can't read your damn website, you have an issue, right? And that's as much a technology issue as anything else. So number 4 is data equals relevance. To be able to take data, to be able to understand it, to process it, to extract value from it, to visualize it, to communicate it, is going to be a hugely important skill in the next decade. Hal Varian, he pretty much invented the internet, I'm pretty sure. And anybody who's Google's chief economist is crazy in a good way, right? You got to be pretty smart to be Google's chief economist. But there's 2 types of data, customer data and strategic data. Customer data is preferences that people are giving you based off of their buying behavior. Strategic data is what happens after the sale. The problem is that we make decisions based off of strategic data all the time, and we don't look at the customer data. Customer data should form or inform your strategy. This person has a specific preference. We need to deliver email, mobile or social, to them based off of that preference, and that's it. That's responsible marketing. What we call inspired marketing at ExactTarget. Because overall, we can sit in a room all day and argue the merits of an email or a mobile device or social, Facebook, Twitter, but your boss's opinion or your opinion usually trumps that. And from a data perspective, data always beats opinions. Always. Now, we use our opinion to form the data into what we think should happen, but you should never walk in a room and say, we should start Facebook because I saw our competitor got 10 million likes yesterday. That's stupid, right? Because it's only based off of your personal opinion, or you're talking to a boss and he says, well, I'm not on Twitter. Not going to use it. I know that people have experienced that, right? Or, I don't open email. My inbox has 9 million emails in it that are unread. We're not going to do email. That's stupid, right? So data beats opinions. And number 5, using data is cross-channel. Your customer is already cross-channel, whether we like it or not. We are all cross-channel. The mobile phone, the smartphone, bleeds cross-channel. Because we have the ability to get everything on that phone, right? So I'm going to walk you through Stacy. How am I doing on time? 5 minutes. Okay, so this is Stacy. She's a mother of a 5-year-old daughter and 2-year-old son. She's an elementary school teacher in Portland. Longtime catalog customer and Facebook fan, but not a current subscriber. Has a monthly neighborhood knitting night, which is really just a reason for Stacy and the rest of the ladies to drink wine and catch up while their spouses watch the kids. And her local store is in Portland. Stacy actually just bought heart cookie cutter set for some reason, and she was making cookies for her class at school, right? So when she receives that cookie cutting, whatever, as you can tell, I've never used cookie cutters. When her shipment arrives, she notices that the packing materials contain a postcard publicizing the Get Fresh with Major Cook sweepstakes. So on that postcard, so it's a direct mail piece, it gives her a URL to go to, right? She types in the URL for the landing page and it's redirected to the contest social page on Facebook. And the social, as you can tell, pretty much looks like this, right? It's your ability to create a tab, light gating or whatever you want to call it, or acquiring email through Facebook. She enters in Facebook to win, which is sent, of course, to our customer intelligence engine, which basically is just a way to form data and use data in our software. Stacy enters the contest and selects the option to opt into promotional messages from Major Cook so that she can be the first to find out about similar offers, of course. After she fills that out, we send her to the cookbook website that has all the other stuff on it based off of what she entered in. She browses the items. She adds a fast and fresh cookbook for her cart, but she decides not to purchase it, right? So what would you do if she decided not to purchase? What do most people do? Ignore it. Retailers in America, 22% of them send cart abandonment emails, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Customer intelligence engines triggers email send. Our iGo Digital Customer Intelligence Engine triggers a remarketing message for the Fast and Fresh Cookbook based off of Stacy's web behaviors. Now, this is all based off of law, whether or not you can track somebody. In America, you can track them wherever, right? So this is what we say when we're doing presentations. It's okay to be a little creepy, just not really creepy, all right? A little creepy is, I know what you bought. I'm going to be helpful and recommend a product to you. Really creepy is I pulled your address off your Facebook page and I'm going to your house trying to resell you what you bought. That you go to jail for that, right? And I'm not advocating you going to jail, please. That would not be good for anybody, right? So it's okay to be a little creepy, and usually I make people say it, but that's okay. So Stacy reads the email at work but accidentally deletes it. She tweets, I accidentally deleted my coupon, can you help? Customer service answers her, sorry to hear that, Stacy. We have resent the email to you. Let us know if there's anything else we can do. She takes apparently it's Stacy. She takes in the coupon to the store and buys the book with a promo code. Is that being tracked through point of purchase? Absolutely. Can we track data on point of purchase? For sure. She requests an e-receipt because the employee asked for it. The e-receipt contains a bounce back offer with upsell opportunities. You bought this, you will like this. Right? And this is through email, but where did it come from? Initially from Facebook and a direct mail, right? After she does that, it triggers an email send 7 days later. Automatic rating and review of did the food taste amazing, right? 14 days later, it triggers another email. She is also invited to join a cookbook club. She joins and adds her mobile number to her profile so she can receive mobile alerts about the local cookbook club events. Based on her preferences, she receives a text message when the club event is going to happen based off of her zip code, or an email about an upcoming event. And ultimately, this is what needs to happen. Whether you're B2B or B2C, we should be able, the technology's there. I don't care who you use, it's there. And customers want it, and we want it. We want it personally. And it's about taking this life cycle and delivering relevant and timely content to people that's personalized, experience-driven, and automated, because it makes your life easier in the long run. But you have to be good at data, and you have to know your customer in order to do this. And that's truly what the customer lifecycle is all about, and email is definitely the center point in that because people prefer via email. But I caution you to make sure that you look at your data to make sure that people are opening email via mobile devices, to make sure that they're using your email, and to make sure that they're actually engaging with you based off of clicks and everything else that you can get. 1 million likes on Facebook only goes so far, but email actually drives revenue. That's all I got. Thank you. That was 72 slides. I did it. That's great. You didn't believe in me. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I was insecure about that. I emailed you last night. Have you clocked your presentation? Are you sure?
It was actually 94, and I cut it down by 20.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm glad I did, because that was close.
All right. So do you have any questions? Just wave to me.
I know it's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's quick. Yes.
Great presentation. What do you see as the biggest problem to achieve that customer journey that we're talking about? Apparently there's a lot of content that needs to go across all these
Right.
channels, and you have email in the center, and I sent you an email with a question as well, so you can follow up.
Okay.
Where do you see the content being managed?
So his question was, where's the conflict with people getting to this life cycle? I think it's data management. I don't think we keep up to date with data. I don't think that we manage it very well. And that's both the technology's problem as well as the marketer's problem. I know the technology's there. We do it, right? But you have to have the data in order to do it. And you have to be able to manage. So I think it's data, but once you get the data down, then content's also an issue. Because if you're sending, like one of our clients, Expedia, sends 1 million an hour that have 250 different dynamic pieces of content. That's a lot of content, right? But they got to the point where they could do that because they had the data. So I think it is data, I think it is content. It's definitely not technology, okay?
All right. Anyone else? See. No?
Yeah.
What do you see as like the starting point if you want to start working with this from scratch, basically?
Starting point is email.
Sending email?
Sending email. It's interesting because we talk a lot about all these trends and hey, Google Glasses, and that's going to be weird because people are going to be texting over their eyes and they're going to be walking into traffic and all that stuff. But Google Glasses and driving cars and all that crap is awesome, but we're not even getting email down right yet. Emails, I mean, we've been around since 2000, 10 years. We have 1,700 employees, and our clients still struggle with data management and email. You know, and that's why we're there to help them. But making sure you have a database to send to is pretty much where you start, right? And this whole life cycle is very much a enterprise level or even mid-market. Some small businesses use it, but ultimately it's about sending email and making sure that it's working.
And free stuff.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think we have time for one last question. Is anyone else? No? All right. Yeah. You.
What could, or one should not start up the process? Someone comes to my website, a part of it thinks this is interesting, moves away. Is that an okay reason? It's culture.
Question was, if somebody comes to your website and leaves, can you target them? We're all about permission-based marketing. So you ask for the email, and then you ask again for them to approve it so that you can send them stuff. So at the simplest form, it's a preference center on your website where people can sign up for email. But the problem with e-newsletters is that people enter in an email and press OK, and you send them the same piece of content. So what we say is just put in an email and then click what content they want, right? Depending on what you do as a business. And then you can send them qualified content. That will help your sales team. It will also help your open rates. That answer your question?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, don't stalk. Like, that's stalking them after they leave your site. It's a little creepy, but they'll get over it.
And you'll still be here if people want to ask
I will be here.
questions?
We have a booth downstairs against the sun wall. So you go ahead and hang out. I'll be around later.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Bring your coffee. Okay, so now it's time for the coffee break. Thank you, everyone. And see you in half an hour.